This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. hanging out here with you. And coming up on today's program, some brand new Niners and NFL trade rumors as things are really starting to heat up across the National Football League with NFL free agency beginning on Monday. And how about this? It's been a lot of movement. These are the NFL trades that have taken place this week, and I'm recording this on Thursday evening here on this March 5th. DJ Moore today got traded to the Buffalo Bills. Trent McDuffie got traded yesterday to the Los Angeles Rams. And then earlier this week, David Montgomery got traded to the Houston Texans, and Titus Howard got traded to the Cleveland Browns. All those players, notable, high-level players. As far as that DJ Moore trade, here on the show, we've been talking about maybe a Ricky Pearsall trade. I don't think it happens. A Brandon Ayuk trade. I don't think it happens because of the medicals. But if the Niners wanted to trade away a wide receiver or trade for a wide receiver, they've been linked a little bit to A.J. Brown. The DJ Moore trade sets the market for a wide receiver trade. Because if the Bears are getting back a second-round pick in the 2026 draft for DJ Moore, who in my eyes is not a number one wide receiver, in addition to a 2026 fifth-round pick, which is going to Buffalo as well. But if the Bears are getting that second-round pick for DJ Moore, A.J. Brown is worth at least a first-round pick because they're not even close as players. A.J. Brown is worlds better than DJ Moore. And, of course, when talking about trade targets or trade candidates, players who could get dealt and moved, the big domino that we are all awaiting here, on top of maybe A.J. Brown, what happens with Maxx Crosby? Jordan Schultz with this report a little bit earlier today that teams in the trade market have gotten the sense that the Raiders are more open to the idea of trading Maxx Crosby, and it's a situation that is only going to intensify. I was listening to our Raiders host, my guy Mitchell Renz, whose wedding I was in. He thinks at this point, Maxx Crosby is going to get traded. A couple of months ago, he was telling me, stop talking about these trade rumors. And Trey Wingo, who used to work for ESPN, reported this today. He's still involved in the media landscape. Things are moving fast on Maxx Crosby. Last night, the Dallas Cowboys thought they were close to a deal, but since then, other teams have raised the ante and potentially are offering the Raiders 2 first-round picks. Expect Dallas to now shift their focus to Trey Hendrickson. So the Crosby price here, if you're a Niner fan and you want San Francisco to trade for Maxx Crosby, who's a great run stopper, who's a great pass rusher, are you willing to give up 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby? He's absolutely a premier player. He's elite against the run and in getting after the quarterback. But he's going to be 29 years old this upcoming season. He's ended the last 3 years injured. His cap hit is north of $30 million. And that price tag is very, very steep. Now, you look at the Niners draft capital the next 2 years. They do have some draft picks that they could give up theoretically in a trade to appease the Raiders, but this is an organization that is going through this little bit of a reset here, and they value these draft picks because they want to build through the draft because these players are affordable. So you look at the draft picks in 2026, the premium picks, first-round pick, second-round pick, third-round pick, you got a couple of fourth-rounders there. Then you flip the page to 2027, Niners have their own first, a second, a third, a fourth, fifth, and then 3 sevenths. If they want Maxx Crosby, they might have to give up 2 ones, a first-round pick each of the next 2 years, and then sprinkle in a second-round pick, a third-round pick. That is a big asking price for a player who does have some injury concerns, and the Niners, as an organization, have injury concerns. So today's poll question is this. Would you give up 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby? Type yes, type no. Let me know what you're thinking about this down in the comment section right now. Before we continue on with this video, here is what I've been trading on Polymarket. In San Francisco's wildcard game against Philadelphia, Polymarket was giving San Francisco a 34% chance to win. I liked the value of that. And what did they do? They shocked the world on the road in Philly. For those reasons, I took San Francisco at 34% to win the game. $100 wins you $294 if San Francisco took the dub. Plus, with Polymarket, you can trade in and out of momentum shifts without getting blocked or penalized. With in-game trading, once the Niners got up, you can either ride it all the way out or you can sell early. For example, if you were to have bought at 34% and sold at just 70%, could have snagged a cool $206 payout. You can't do this with a traditional sports book, so get started today. Polymarket is legal in all 50 states. Download the app now to get to the top of the wait list. The only way to do that is by clicking my link in the description and comments of today's show. More trade buzz to get to for San Francisco here. What is going to happen with Mac Jones? Will Mac Jones be the backup quarterback to Brock Purdy in 2026 after he revitalized and revived and resurrected his career this past year? Or will he get traded elsewhere for some solid draft capital and get an opportunity to be a franchise quarterback for another team? Because I thought under Kyle Shanahan, when he finally linked up with a really good coach, Mac Jones proved that he can be a quality starting quarterback in this league. Side note, we've seen all this social media content, a lot of Niners players spending a lot of time in Cabo. Mac Jones is an absolute vibe. I mean, I would really like to hang out with the guy. I think there was one time he did a full windup and he threw like what looked like a shot glass at, what do you call the things that Mitch hits in the other studio? He hit a gong. There was one time where George Kittle posted a photo of him like jumping off a boat and he was like in this like funny stance. Mac Jones seems like a really good time. Anyway, let's get back to some trade talk. Per reports, the Niners would likely retain Mac Jones unless the 49ers could get a first-round pick. That is very steep, right? And this is classic negotiating tactics. Anytime you go to the negotiating table with your employer and you're looking for a raise, or you're looking for a promotion, or you're looking for some type of salary demand, in this case, if you're the Niners and you're having some trade talks, the asking price is always going to start high. Do I think Mac Jones is worth a first-round pick? I don't. Do I think the Niners could get a second and a third-round pick for him? No doubt about it. And so you start the asking price by saying, we want a first-round pick for Mac Jones. Then you canvass the league. No team would want to surrender that first-round pick for Mac. Okay, let's revisit these conversations. How about a second and a third? Are you desperate for a quarterback? Do you want a franchise quarterback who's on a cheap deal in 2025? We'll take a second and a third, and we can have those trade talks. Now, Mac Jones this past year, I thought was really good. He showed a lot. This is a big-bodied quarterback who can hang tough in the pocket. He can take some hits. He can deliver the ball downfield. What was so impressive with what he did, the Niners all year, and with Mac Jones, could not run the ball. And then you think about the weapons who were out when Mac Jones was making those 8 starts. George Kittle in and out of the lineup. Jawan Jennings in and out of the lineup and banged up. Ricky Pearsall hurt after week 4. Christian McCaffrey, good this year, but really struggled to run it. Brandon Ayuk went missing. Kendrick Bourne at times was his number 1 wideout. Yet Mac Jones got the ball out on time, in rhythm, accurately, pulled off that upset on the road against the Los Angeles Rams and threw for well over 300 yards. He made some clutch throws, clutch plays, had the game-winning drive as well against the Arizona Cardinals, completed nearly 70% of his passes, 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 picks, and had a quarterback rating of 97.4. You give him some help, whether it's a run game, pass protection, and some better weapons, those numbers can definitely go up. And you see what Kyle Shanahan saw in him going into the 2021 draft and why Kyle Shanahan liked him over Trey Lance there for a bit. Let me throw this out there. If we're talking about a Mac Jones trade and we're talking about a quarterback-needy team, how about the Minnesota Vikings? A win-win trade for the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings could be a Mac Jones for Jonathan Grenard swap. The Vikings, prior to making a couple of moves this week, were nearly $50 million over the cap. The Vikings do not have a franchise quarterback. They don't believe in J.J. McCarthy. There's been some chatter that they're interested in now signing Kyler Murray. But does Kyler Murray fit what Kevin O'Connell wants to do? They're sick at the fact that they let Sam Darnold go. So Minnesota needs a quarterback who's affordable. Mac Jones is a quarterback who's affordable. What do the Niners need? The 49ers in 2025 were dead last in sacks, and because Minnesota is so over the cap, they're getting rid of players by the day seemingly. And they have put Jonathan Grenard on the trade block. Jonathan Grenard, over the next 2 years, has an average annual value of $19 million per year. He's played under D'Amico Ryans, and he is a high-end pass rusher who, opposite of Nick Bosa, can also stop the run, get after the quarterback, and would be a really good player for this Niners defense. Now, Grenard in 2025 was injured a little bit with a shoulder injury, but he was still really good against the run. His sack numbers did suffer, but he still had 10 TFLs, 3 sacks, 12 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, and 38 tackles. But look at what he did the prior 2 years. His first year with Minnesota, 12 sacks, 18 TFLs, 22 quarterback hits, and 59 tackles. With D'Amico Ryans in Houston in 2023, 52 tackles, 15 TFLs, 12.5 sacks, 22 quarterback hits. There's also this, that the GM for Minnesota who traded for Jonathan Grenard in that trade with Houston, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. He is now back with the Niners front office because he got fired by Minnesota. He's got familiarity with the player. He knows exactly who Jonathan Grenard is and exactly what he can bring to the table. And what I like about Grenard is you look at the pass rusher market right now. There are guys making between $30 and $40 million. Is Grenard that type of player? No, but he's a really good player at that price tag of $19 million. Of course, Grenard could want his contract redone, but if I'm San Francisco, you're under contract 2 more years. I mean, maybe we'll guarantee you some money, but I would make that move if I'm San Francisco potentially. Mac Jones for Grenard. Of course, the Niners would have to figure out who their backup quarterback is for 2026, and Brock Purdy has a little bit of an injury history. Don't forget to give me a follow, by the way, on social media. You can find me on X, Instagram, TikTok, at Chase_Senior. I'm also on Facebook, Chase Senior Chat Sports. I'm always talking Niners here on YouTube. I'm putting out so much Niners coverage on my social media pages as well.